Okay, welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us today. The topic today is stressed pets, helping them stay calm when there are changes in their new homes. Our presenter today is Mary Berg. She is a charter member of the Academy of Veterinary Dental Technicians and received her veterinary technician specialty in dentistry in June 2006. She is currently serving as the treasurer of the AVDT and the American Society of Veterinary Dentistry. Berg is the past president of the KVTA and a member at large of the NAVTA board. She worked in research for over 22 years, specializing in products aimed at improving oral health of companion animals. She was the practice manager and dental technician specialist at Gentle Care Animal Hospital in Lawrence, Kansas for over 7 years, and is currently the president of Beyond the Crown Veterinary Education, a veterinary dental consulting service, and she is an instructor for Wright Career College. Mary Berg has also authored and co-authored over 60 publications, including the Journal of Dental Research, the Veterinary Technician Journal, and the NAVTA Journal. Additionally, she has been the speaker and wet lab instructor at numerous conferences, including Western Vet, the North American Veterinary Conference, the Annual Veterinary Forum, the American Veterinary Medical Association, the AAHA, and multiple state conferences. We welcome Mary Berg.
Thank you very much. And today we're going to be talking about, the pandemic we have going on. We have a pandemic going on in the country, but we also have an issue with our pets and helping clients deal with stressed pets, and that includes, new pets that are being adopted from the shelters. Nice thing to work here. So first of all, I really want to just thank Assisi Animal Health for allowing me to do this presentation, and hopefully we can help you guys better understand how we can help those stressed out pets. Now, we all know COVID-19, if you've had to have been living under a rock, if you haven't heard about this, and we know that, even though many of us are on stay-home orders, or still maybe coming back to work and doing things a little bit more than we did a month or two ago, all of that stress that we've had has been transferred to our pets. And we want to be able to help our pet owners understand how they can improve that. And that means for shelters, I'm sure many of you have seen increased adoptions. We see all the time, all the people who have been staying home now for the last few months are suddenly looking and wanting a pet. And so people are home more. They need a friend. Maybe this is a person who single, lives alone, and just wanted somebody to help keep them company, so they adopted a pet. We want to help these pet owners understand and how to work with these pets when maybe when they go back to work and things become even a little bit more stressful. So while we have this pandemic going on, both, as I mentioned earlier, humans are stressed by this. Our entire perception of normal has totally turned itself on its head. We don't know what normal is anymore. It's scary to even walk outside of your house at times, depending on what part of the country you're in right now. You don't know for sure because of all the problems with asymptomatic people who might be carrying the virus and things like that. It's like a really bad sci-fi movie right now. And because of our stress, our pets are feeling that stress as well. So we want to make sure we're helping them. And we want to improve that human-animal bond as much as possible. So many of us who've been stuck at home, I'm a person who's haven't really left my home for work since March 14th. We have new coworkers, and we have to deal with these pets, and our pets are like, what in the world are you doing home all the time? Sometimes we joke and get pictures of our, my son sent me 2 pictures of his coworkers who were both sound asleep butt to butt on the couch, but we want to make sure we're encouraging them to be with us and helping them. But many people who were home for many months and maybe adopted a new shelter pet have decided to go back or have gone back to work because their workplaces have opened up again. And this adds a whole new layer of stress, because even pets that have been in the home for a while got used to us being there all the time. And when we're gone, it can be very stressful for them. It can be stressful for us because we're worried about what's happening to our new friend at home. And they're wondering what in the world happened to us because, you know, we were here all the time and now all of a sudden we're not. So our pets are laying there trying to figure out what's going on. They may be depressed. They may just be going, what in the world is happening to us? And where did my people go? I want my people back. We know that the dogs can just detect stress in humans. We know that cats can also do this. They're going to be able to read our cues, whether it's our voice, our change, our posture, our facial expressions. All of these things can be cues to our pets that they know something is going on and they want to be there to help us through that, but they may not know us what to do. So signs of stress in cats, it's really important as shelters that if you have a new pet owner who adopts a cat and maybe they haven't had a cat before, that we discuss this with them. We want them to understand that this is what we're going to be looking for when a cat is stressed, and especially when they've entered a new home, if they've just been adopted. There might be changes for a little bit in litter box use, okay? A stressed out cat's going to groom more. They're going to maybe have more hairballs than they've had. They probably will hide. And we see this as pets in a veterinary setting that come home from the hospital, new pets in a house, they just may go into hiding. They're probably not going to eat very well in those first few days while they're figuring out their new environment. And they could have some GI upset, such as diarrhea and vomiting. So we want to make sure we prepare our new pet owners for these things prior to them adopting a pet. In dogs, again, it can be the GI issues. It could be vomiting, diarrhea, flatulence. The dog might just be, you know, urinating in the house or something because they just don't know for sure. They're trying to figure out, where am I? What's going on? Who are these people who have me? And we're both trying to figure out that routine. A stressed out dog may eat less. They may not want to eat, possibly because they already have the GI upset going on. Some dogs will bark a lot more often when they're under stress. Other dogs will not. And it just really depends on that breed. But we want to make sure that the pet owners understand these things and can deal with them. Some dogs who are under stress can actually become aggressive. And that is one thing that we really want to work on with our new pet owners to help them understand that how we can deal with that extra aggression that might be happening when a dog is stressed out. Some dogs are less playful when they're stressed. They're just going to lay there because they really don't know what's happening. One of my granddogs is a pacer and a panter when he's upset, and he just walks around the house and just paces and pants the whole time when things are stressful. Some dogs become very destructive, and we've all probably had a dog who's chewed up something in our house, whether it be a library book, whether it be a shoe or something, or even just a couch. They may become very destructive. And then a lot of times we have dogs who will just sit and lick or chew on themselves. And as a veterinary professional, I always want to recommend that we have that animal checked out when they're doing that, because sometimes they do that because of a painful joint. So those lick granulomas on that, you know, front leg could be because they have a little bit of arthritis forming in that leg, but it also can be because that pet is becoming very stressed out, and that is some way to comfort themselves. So it's a good idea to make sure we educate those new owners about that possibility. Now, these animals are very social, and the type of enrichment that we should recommend may differ depending on the type of animal and the individual itself. So cats, you know, cats like to play. Their natural instinct is to play and hunt, maybe stalking a little bit. We should encourage our pet owners to, you know, supply them with toys, a cat condo that they can climb on and they can sharpen their claws on that. Maybe even encouraging the pet owner to invest in some catnip toys for the cat to kind of, you know, help them adjust to their new environment. And I don't know about you guys, but I find that you can buy all the expensive toys you want, and my cats are going to play with the box. kind of like a 2 or 3 year old child. You buy them a nice toy and they play with the box. But giving your pet, your cat, a box to play with can be just fine. They're going to be happy with that. Also, when it comes to food for cats, allowing them to stalk or hunt, I like to hide treats throughout the house for my cat. It's actually not treats, it's really just his regular kibble, but we hide it in different places around the house for him to go ahead and kind of forage for his food a little bit, and gives them a little bit better feeling about eating, and it encourages them to eat a little bit more. Some cats are like the one there on the top who just want that bowl right in front of them and don't make me get up. I'm good. I'm just going to sit here and chow down. But others like to stalk for it. And then they love human interaction. They really, a lot of cats like to just be with their people. There's some who are not as people oriented, but they want to spend time. And, some cats, when they have that change in behavior, I had a cat for a while who really was not a social cat. I kind of adopted her, and she was, she was a calico, enough said. But she was pretty standoffish around us. I mean, she would tolerate us in her presence. But then she started really becoming very needy and wanting to be with us all the time. And that was when I was aware that there was something probably going on with her. She had changed her demeanor quite a bit, and sure enough, she had developed some renal issues. So they can change their personality when there's a health issue, but just be aware that most cats really do want to have that human interaction. Some things that you can encourage pet owners to do and new pet owners to do, and it doesn't cost any money, is to create feeding puzzles. The first two there on the upper left side of your screen are things that most people have in their house. A muffin tin. Put kibble in the muffin tin, cover it with cardboard, and let the cat work a little bit to figure out how to get to the food inside of that. Using an empty water bottle with some kibble in it and let the cat play with it to get the kibble out is another great way. These don't cost really anything for the pet owner to put together. Up in the upper right corner, we have a feeding puzzle that's really more of a way to slow a cat down to eat. Those cats who just inhale their food, it forces them to work a little bit to take their time to eat. These kind of feeding bowls also work well for dogs who tend to, all but inhale their food. And then down at the bottom is really more of a puzzle for the cat that has to work on how to get those little kibbles out of all the little gizmos on that feeding puzzle. But these are great things for the cats to do, in addition to, the red light to chase, the pointer light, things like that we can do to get our cats interactive. Again, as I said, that pointer light, get your cat exercising, helping those pet owners understand that exercise is not only important for us in this environment. With COVID, we need to still be out doing things and doing things in our house if we're not out exercising on the trails or walking around. But we also need to make sure that our pets are still getting the exercise they need. So our cats, yeah, they could do yoga, but instead probably getting them a little pointer light to play with would be a good option, in addition to, you taking your dog for a walk. You can take your cat for a walk if you like to, put them on a harness and take them outside and let them get some air. That's up to the individual and also up to the cat. Now, we've all seen some of the memes that have been going on right now with the dog. There's a commercial out right now where the dog is like hiding under the table because somebody else wants to take him for a walk in the house. But getting the dogs out for a run or for a walk is really important in this environment. It's also good for the human. Or giving your cats toys to play with. Here's a kitten with a scratching pole and a toy on a string, trying to get them to interact and to play a little bit. Recommending to your new pet owner, especially your new dog owners, to let your dog go out on a safari. This is a walk, but the dog kind of leads the way. Within safe measures, but they're the ones who's just going to let them take the time and let them sniff their new environment. Give them the time to be out there and sniffing instead of the walk that's aimed at just elimination and maybe a little exercise. But this is a great way for them to interact with their pet as well. All of these things, playing with our pets, talking with our pets, interacting with them are ways that we can regain the human-animal bond. So you may have a pet who maybe is a little shy, a little scared of humans. Doing all these things will help increase that human-animal bond, and we all want to have that with our pets. So this is really, when we look at the Calmer Canine device that we're talking about, this is really where technology meets love. And this is a great device to help canines with separation anxiety, okay? We have those, many dogs have separation anxiety. In fact, I read a report today that I think it's like, I want to say the report said 70% of dogs probably suffer with separation anxiety. So this is a device that helps that pet kind of rewire their brain a little bit to be a little bit less anxious. And it's using electroceutical targeted pulse targeted pulse electromagnet signals to the brain. Okay, so it hits the amygdala of the brain, which is the part of the brain that gives us the fight or flight reflex. So it's the part that sometimes in many of our animals has a lot of inflammation going on in it. There's a lot of problems with those cells in that area. And this TPEMF technology really helps at the cellular level with the inflammation of those cells in the amygdala. The treatments are easy, and this could be something you place on the pet at the shelter or at your rescue. You want to put this harness vest on them while you're with them. Don't put it on when they're alone. And it only requires 2 15-minute treatments per day. Now, it's going to not be something that's an instant fix. It may take 4 to 6 weeks for the results to show up. But it can be very easy, and the pet isn't really even going to realize that this is happening. It's going to be something that you want to make it an enjoyable experience when they're having this vest put on them. I know I went through that really quick today, but I'm going to open this up to see if you guys have any questions. And while we're asking questions, I'm going to go ahead and let you see two of my babies. Ricochet, or AKA Ricky. There on the left is my 13-year-old cat who was a rescue from the veterinary hospital I worked at. And little Gypsy, who is about a 3-year-old terrier mix that I rescued from a shelter about 2.5 years ago. And she now, we pretty much belong to her in her mind. She is really a true joy to have in our house. So I'm going to open this up to any questions you might have.